There is a path to diabetes and having excess body fat that actually isn't related to overeating at all and is something that you can do on a healthy diet. It makes me so angry that people automatically assume that excess weight and diabetic diagnosis is because someone ate too much. But there is a pathway that theoretically, if you never ate sugar in your life, you could potentially still end up diabetic. And I'm going to walk you down that path. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a holistic health coach for women and super passionate about metabolic health. So how could you become diabetic or insulin resistant without eating sugar? Here you go. Inflammation. Now, for some of us, inflammation might be this really quick thing that happens. The quick ones could be triggered by something that happened, like you broke your wrist, or something super stressful happened that put your body into fight or flight. Because the mechanisms here are because our body has those protective mechanisms. The problem isn't in that if this were to happen like once every now and then, that's not the problem. It's when this becomes chronic. We're gonna go through that though. When your body gets inflammation, what's going to happen is your body is going to make cortisol, which is your stress response hormone. When cortisol goes up, your body makes glucose and puts it into your bloodstream. So this is sugar, not from what you ate, but what your body made. The body wants the blood in the bloodstream to deal with this emergency. So it also makes your cells resistant to the messaging from insulin to suck in that glucose. Because moment to moment, you don't really want excess glucose in your bloodstream. That's not what you want. It's not good for you. In an emergency, it is. So generally speaking, if we have this single event, things settle back down and eventually your body uses that blood sugar, cortisol comes down, things return to normal. But the problem is there are a lot of us walking around with chronic inflammation, meaning that multiple times a day, we are activating this inflammatory response. And this could be anywhere from eating foods that you're sensitive to, or even being malnourished in some of the micro, even macro nutrients. When we're putting a stressor on our body, we are going to be creating inflammation and cortisol release, which means that you always have elevated cortisol, almost always anyways. Your cells are always stuck in this insulin resistant state because of the elevated cortisol. And you always have too much sugar in your blood, which means your A1C is going to go up. And eventually, your body's ability to transport oxygen, because that is what hemoglobins do, is hindered, which leads to other health concerns and eventually a diabetic diagnosis. This is why figuring out what foods your body wants to be fed and the foods that are a no, it's causing a fire in your body, figuring out those foods is essential to rebalancing your metabolic health. And if you want help, this is what I do.